Howdy everybody, welcome back to my channel. How do you like my new look here? Listen, I wanted to wear my cute little headbands, okay, but they're all too tight on my giant head, so we're going back to the wrap and that's just how it's gonna be. So today I wanted to continue with my little full face series, if you will, a little full face Friday coming at you. And today I wanted to do a little brand overview, a little chat on Laura Mercier. This is a brand that I have not yet done. There are many products that I keep and use and love in my collection, but it's kind of one of those brands that just like lives outside of my radar. And with my recent rediscovery of Cocoa in my collection, I was like, what is up with Laura Mercier these days? So guys, I'm gonna do a full face of Laura Mercier, chat with you through some of my favorite products that live in my collection, try some new things. I ran to Sephora, bought some stuff. I also have a few of their more recent launches that came in from PR, and we're just gonna do a whole big chat. If you like these full face videos and want me to continue doing some brand reviews and brand chats, please let me know which ones you'd want to see in the comments down below. Give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you are not already, if you want to see more videos from me. So my friends, let's zoom in and dive in to the world of Laura Mercier. So I'm gonna start with the bases, and base products, foundation, powder, primer, concealer, that entire base face category of products from Laura Mercier is a category that's like very popular on the internet. I see a lot of my fellow YouTubers and comrades here on the social interweb constantly using and loving Laura Mercier products. Like the translucent powder in general has been like a cult favorite, cult classic product for so long, and every time I see a new base product come out from Laura Mercier, I always see so many people talk about it, and it's just like I don't know why, but it's just never been a brand whose products I've been drawn to in the base category. I remember trying the translucent powder like many years ago and not getting along with it. However, that was also during a time where I wasn't really using powder on my face. I have really dry, dehydrated skin, so that powder just never really worked for me. It always made me feel very dry, and people were always like doing the baking and the caking and the powdering with it and just loving it. And it was just something that I never really got into. So over the last couple years, it seems like Laura Mercier has really done a revamping of their base products. They came out with like an entire new lineup of primers that was really popular. I remember using this in a video when they first came out. I don't remember my thoughts on it, so we're gonna try it again today. They've come out with new foundations. I have the Flawless Lumière Radiance Perfecting Foundation I want to use today. A few new concealers. This one I think is their most recent launch. This is the Secret Camouflage Brighten and Correct Duo. They came out with these little pen stick things, and I think that my take from Laura Mercier is that a lot of their base products were loved by like professionals, by makeup artists. Like Lisa Eldridge, for example, always used the compact version of their Secret Camouflage, which I think this is the redo of that, because I went in store, sorry, this is like quite a long blab, but I went in store and realized that these were there. They also had the little secret pots, which I had never seen before, but then the Secret Camouflage duos were gone. I didn't see them on the shelf at Sephora, and I also didn't see any eyeshadow palettes, which was odd because Laura Mercier often comes out with the one-off palettes and whatnot. They usually had a few there, but really the only thing I really saw were the Caviar eye pencils, which this is the pile that I have living in my collection, as a matter of fact. So my point being with that, it seems like they've done a really big rejig and revamp on all of their base products. Lots of products to choose from between your foundations and concealers and whatnot. But before I continue with my blabber, let us put some product on our face. That's my initial little blab. Those are my thoughts and feelings. I'm going to use the two primers here. I have the hydrating and the illuminating one. I'm going to put the hydrating one kind of all over my face. I don't know why. I always smell a product. It's important to me that a product has a nice, inviting scent. So I'm just going to put that in the center of my face where my skin is the most dry. I do want to pull these out more. I feel like these primers get zero love from me in my collection, and I should use them more. I'm going to take a little bit of the illuminating primer and just focus that on kind of the higher points of the skin, just for an extra glow and shine. Those are the primers. Absolutely nothing bad to say about them. They feel beautiful. The hydrating one has a very nice cooling feeling when it's first applied. I like that a lot. I'm going to go in with this Flawless Lumière Radiance Perfecting Foundation. I'm not sure which shade I'm going to be. I have 1 and 2 vanilla and 2 and 1.5 beige. I really like this packaging. It's very, very luxe feeling. Nice gold bottle. Oh, it's super liquidy. Look at that. It's like water coming out. I thought it would be much more of a thick foundation-y consistency, but it's very, very light. This is the deeper of the two. I'm just gonna, wow, this is actually blending in really nicely with my fingers. I was not expecting that. I thought this was gonna be way more thick. That's really nice. Whenever I think of Laura Mercier bases, I always think of the Tinted Moisturizer and how much of a cult favorite that was for so long. It was actually my mom's favorite product too. It was something we'd always restock and replenish for her, like for Christmas and birthdays and whatnot. She just loved that Tinted Moisturizer so much. To be honest, I don't really remember my thoughts on it. I don't remember liking it so much, but they did kind of rejig their Tinted Moisturizers, and yeah, I don't even know if I have that in my collection anymore. This is what I mean. I don't know why. Laura Mercier, like, base products, they're such favorites for so many people, but like I literally couldn't even tell you. I know I've tried that newer tinted moisturizer, the illuminating one. It's just one of those brands that just always slips my mind, and I don't know why. There's literally no reason, because they look beautiful. I'm sure they perform great, and it's just never a brand I think to reach to or go to. I need to know your guys' feelings on that. How do you feel? Are there some brands that do the same thing for you? I'm so curious to know. I'm just taking my beauty blender and just going in with another additional layer, but that blended out really beautifully with the fingers. It's funny that I say this because our recent conversations, there's been a lot of brands who have kind of like ditched their staple cult favorite classic products and gone to this like overproduction consumption train and just coming out with all these random colorful limited edition products that seem to be catered to a younger audience. And you know, in our discussions about it, we've been saying like, oh, I wish they would just keep us like older ladies happy, and you know, keep the staples for the people who still want the core good products that they're known for. And what's funny is that Laura Mercier kind of is that definition. Like, they've really stayed true to themselves. They've kept a lot of their core classic products, maybe with a few like revamps and reformulations there, but they've really stayed true to their brand. And so it's kind of a contradiction, isn't it, that I'm saying that these brands, I'm like, oh, please stay true to yourselves, keep your core products, and then the brand that's like actually doing it is the one that I use the least and go to the least. You know what I mean? I find that kind of interesting. They're literally doing what I've been asking other brands to do. That's kind of funny. I would love to know your guys' thoughts on that. Yeah, this base looks absolutely delightful. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting it to be as liquidy and like light covering as it is. Like, this looks absolutely phenomenal on the skin, and it had an interesting texture. What it actually feels like is what the new Fenty Easy Drops feels like. It's super light. It feels very, very light and liquidy, but it's got that weird kind of velvety, gritty texture to it as you're blending it out. Like, it's got a more natural finish. That's totally what the Fenty one feels like. That's crazy, but just with a little bit more coverage. So I'm gonna keep that one out. I'm gonna keep testing this and keep you guys posted. Let's move on to the concealer. Now, I do really want to test out these little Secret Camouflage Duo Sticks, but I kind of also want to use the Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer and do a little beauty blender, very dewy moment today. So I might use these ones today and save these ones for another day. But I did pick these up. I got the shade 1N and 2W. I kind of just pulled it off the shelf at Sephora and went like this, and we're gonna hope for the best. But I'm gonna take the lighter one, 1N, and use this to highlight and brighten the areas on my face. I love this doe foot applicator. It's really nice. So going in with the lighter one there, and then taking the deeper one to go ahead and just conceal any additional areas that need concealing. Honestly, pretty happy with this shade choice here. We'll see how it blends out. I'm gonna take the eyeshadow brush and just blend in that inner part around the eye. I'm really loving this little tip. It's the tip from Patrick Ta that just keeps on giving. But I find this really helpful in getting the concealer where you want it to be. I like this little brush tip. Just doing that and placing the concealer right where we want it, around the eye, and then going in with the beauty sponge and blending it out. This concealer is like a lot lighter than I thought it was gonna be. I was expecting it to kind of be like quite a thick, heavy formula, just like I thought the foundation was gonna be a lot more thick, but this is actually so light. And in general, like, I think I was so pleased with the discovery of my Makeup Forever self-setting concealer, and it's been such a favorite because I was kind of just in a concealer rut. And I just felt like I was using expired concealers and my concealer just wasn't looking good. So when I was using the Makeup Forever one, I was like, oh my god, I forgot what it was like using a concealer that is not curdling and separating on my face. And so I was just really needing like a concealer refresh. And even as I'm applying this, I'm like, oh my word, this looks so good. Like really, really good. This base is looking real happy, and I'm just very excited at the potential of finding another concealer that just does it right. Now I did pick up the shade 6W because there wasn't any like contouring products, but I definitely think that's a necessary step in my routine in my life. I feel like this is actually like quite dark, but I'm hoping that because it is such a nice light formula, we can blend it in nicely. Yeah, that's deep for sure. This is why I need like contour specific products, because I'm not good at picking my own shades. I need like, hey, this is contour for light skin. Done. Okay, perfect. But that blended out really nice. That looks really great. I'd be so curious to know how many of you actually purchase like contour specific products, or are you more inclined to use just like a deeper concealer or foundation product? What is your go-to? How many of you do the contouring and bronzing deed with just a deeper concealer? I'd love to know. So had this concealer been any more thick in formula, I feel like this would have been a disaster, but it's actually not too bad because it is such a light blendable formula. It actually looks pretty great. I'm not gonna take any more product though. I'm just gonna use what's left on my beauty blender to do the jawline. I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna take like the tiniest little bit onto my hand with a little brush, little one, and I'm gonna take off a lot of the product, and I'm gonna try and just weep, rub that on my nose. Oh yes, nice. I saw someone do like a rectangle on their nose, and I was like, huh, that's interesting. I want to try that. I feel like it just looks like I have dirt on my nose. Maybe not. Maybe a no to the rectangle. I don't know. What do you guys think? Love these concealers. Very happy with how this is all blending together right now. Now let's try some powder. Now this one says new. This was a new one. This came in PR. This is the Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder Glow. However, even though it has glow, it does say to apply all over the face after applying foundation and concealer, and it sets your makeup for lasting weightless wear. It says it has sheer cover and lasting natural luminosity and blurs fine lines. So it's everything we want in a setting powder, but allegedly has a little bit of a glow to it. When you use loose powder, do you put it in the lid? Like, I feel like that's not the way. See, yeah, it does have quite a glow to it. I don't know. Yeah, dude, that is a shimmery powder. Can you see the shimmer there? I bet that's really nice for around the face. So I take it back. We're not gonna use that under the eyes. I'm gonna go in with the original translucent powder and put this under the eyes, keeping in mind that they actually do have specific powders for under eyes. However, today will not be that day. I'm gonna take the regular translucent powder and I'm going to put this underneath the eyes. Whoa. Wow. Back in the day when I tried this powder, I just remember feeling like all over my face, but I also just, it was a different time then, my friends. It was. I feel like a tightness. I'm using a tiny little amount. I'm really topping it off, and I'm applying it very precisely with this little eyeshadow brush. It is blurring out, that is for sure. It's having a very great blurring effect, just like my beloved Charlotte Tilbury one, but there's just that slightly tighter feeling, which honestly isn't always the worst thing, because to me that just means it's gonna last longer. Like the Charlotte Tilbury one, I can load it up on a giant brush and smack it all over my face and I never feel a tightness or dryness. This one I'm like, oh yeah, my under eyes are set. Which, if you're wanting your makeup to last a really long time, that's actually probably a better thing. Also, please let me know how you use your loose powders. I feel like I've just made such a mess of myself. Now I'm gonna go in with the glow one, and I'm just gonna do what it says. I'm just gonna give our face a nice little dusting of glow. I feel like I'd rather just use a highlighter and highlight where I want to, right? Listen, the base is looking poppin' right now. I ain't complaining, that is for sure. I do, however, speaking of highlighter, want to dip into the highlighter. So this is the Matte Radiance Baked Powder, and they had it in this one highlight. This was the one highlight they had, and then the rest was like a line of bronzers on the display at Sephora. So I picked up the 01 highlight and the bronze 02. These are the two powders I picked up. So not a lot of shade variety when it comes to highlights from them, but a nice compact, a nice mirror. And I believe like the highlight 01, I think it's been around for a very long time. I'm almost certain I owned this at one point. And they also used to have their highlighters that had the waves running through the powder. It's still on the Sephora website, but they're all sold out and it was not in store. So again, I do wonder if they're just continuing to revamp all of their products. Very interested to see what happens with that, but that's nice. Let's try this bronzer. Oh, wow, a lot of powder comes off with that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Very light. It's like barely noticeable, but then when you take the brush away, you're like, ooh, that looks bronzed. It's like, it's a very light bronze look for me, but kind of nice. I'm just rubbing it into my hand and you can see like how much of a soft, natural bronze that's giving. Really nice if you're not a big fan of like deep, thick bronzers and cheeks like me, but you do want just a light little sun-kissed look. This is a very, very nice light powder. Wow. I'm just taking that on a little eyeshadow brush and running that on my eyes too. I actually really appreciate how light that was. That's nice. So for blush, I didn't pick up any new blushes. I actually had quite a few in my collection before I did a pretty deep declutter of my blushes, but the one that remained is Fresco, and you guys will see this all the time on my channel. I love this shade. It's such a great color. It's a perfect, just nude, everyday blush for my skin tone. I love it. It's got a little bit of shimmer running through it. I also did really like Chai, but I found them quite similar. I think Chai was the one that was matte, unless it was Ginger. I can't remember which one it was now, but I did keep the one with the shimmer because I always do like a little bit of glow on the cheeks. So love this blush, no fuss, great packaging, just a beautiful, beautiful go-to shade. And then I did recently get sent Peach. I'm very excited for this, for the summertime, feeling fine. I am gonna use Fresco today though, because I do just want a more neutral feeling. Taking a little brush and just dusting that really lightly onto the apples of my cheeks. It's a lovely pale neutral shade, but it's got a little hint of pink running in there, you know? It's just such a great natural flush. It's a great, great, great go-to shade. Now that we're finished with our powder products and we've set everything in, I'm gonna take my Benefit Porefessional setting spray and just spray this around. Whoop, whoop, whoop. My lips are feeling really naked. Let's go into the Naked Lip Pencil. I don't know if I've ever tried the lip pencils from Mercier. I'm sure I could have at some point, but I did pick this one up. I picked up one shade. Now I'm thinking it's a little bit too light. I usually like a little bit of a deeper brown feeling. Is this even gonna show up? Barely, but it's actually like almost perfectly matched to my lip color, which is not a bad thing. It's just a lot lighter than I would normally go for. Okay, let's just talk about the lip products. These sticks, what are these actually called? The Velour Extreme Matte Lipsticks. These are all products I have bought, and I have had these in my collection for years plural now. I've had these for a very, very long time. They've come out with new shades every once in a while, but these have all been in my collection forever. I have worn these a lot throughout the years, and the colors are just fabulous. If you want a great rich pink, a rich red, and orangey lipstick, these are like some of my favorites forever, and they have lived and stayed in my collection for a very long time. I don't even know if I could choose my favorite. Definitely like on point is a beautiful fiery orange. Fire is an orangey red. I love It Girl. It Girl's just such a great bright pink. And then I also have Power and Queen. It's just a beautiful formula. I love these lipsticks, and this has been a constant favorite of mine from Mercier. I don't actually know what color I'm gonna go for, so maybe we should wait. I might skip this real quick. Let's do the eyes, see what we do. I did just mention this in my one and done eyeshadows. The shade Cocoa has been just a constant favorite, and the Caviar Stick Eye colors. I don't know why that's such a backwards name to me. Caviar Stick Eye colors, it should be Caviar Eye Color Sticks, right? Like, doesn't that make more sense? I don't know. I struggle with the name. These eye pencils. Such a classic, forever favorite product from Laura Mercier as well. They do a great job with their stick products, you know? Oh, amethyst. This was such an old favorite. Amethyst. Beautiful, beautiful taupey purpley shade. That might actually be really pretty right now. Let's dive back into the past and use amethyst today, guys. I'm just gonna rub this. Oh, they're just, this amethyst is so old. This is so old in my collection and it's still so creamy. Just like cocoa, I've just had them forever and they don't go bad. It's so impressive. I'm gonna take my Refer 02 brush and just blend that out. I really like these flat shader brushes to do this. I kind of just like flip the paddle sideways and it blends it out so perfectly in the crease. It's like the MAC 239 brush. I use that to blend it out and then sometimes I'll just go over with like a fluffier blending brush. How pretty is that shade? Wow! I forgot how nice this color was. I haven't used it in so long. But yes, now that we're on the eyes, I couldn't believe they had no eyeshadow palettes. I'm so curious to know what they're gonna do. Unless it's just Canada. Like sometimes it's so dependent on which country you are in, you know, depending on the availability of a stock of a makeup brand. But yeah, no eyeshadow palettes in sight. And normally Laura Mercier would always have their kind of neutrals. And I found that their palettes always were on like the more cool toned end of the spectrum. It was a lot of cool shades, a lot of purples and taupes, a lot of like grays, and I think that's why I was never like really interested in the palettes from Laura Mercier, because I do love my warm eyeshadows. And that can even be said with their eyeshadow sticks actually. These are all very cool toned. Like even Cocoa is a more cool toned brown. I would love to see warm shadows, like in shadow sticks from them. They do such a good job with the lip pencils. I'm kind of surprised they don't do that more for their eye products, but maybe, who knows? Who knows? Maybe they're coming. I'm actually going to take a little bit of that on the lower lash line too. I feel like this is old school me right here. I feel like I'm just diving back to 2014 with this look. So pretty. I really did forget how beautiful this shade is. All right, let's move on to mascara. I picked up, this is the Caviar Volume Mascara. I don't know if I've ever tried a mascara from Laura Mercier, but this wand is massive. I definitely prefer a thinner wand when it comes to everyday mascara because I like to get right in there. If it's a thicker, big brush like this, I'm much more likely to get it on my lid. Caviar Volume, let's see how much volume you bring us. It's a very, very light, fluffy mascara. I wouldn't call this very volumizing at all. It's very lifting and lengthening, right? But not a whole lot of volume, but it's still very pretty. Really nice, like fluttery looking lash for every day. That's the mascara applied. Very, very light. I wouldn't call that volume at all. So for lips, I think I'm gonna try using Queen, like a nice cool toned pink to match with the cool tone hues in our eyes. So this is the shade Queen. Oh yeah. When I'm using a bright color, I always like to apply a little bit in the center of my lip and then go ahead and take a lip brush and spread it out. I find it just allows you to build up the color. Like you can leave it applied a little bit if you just want a more of a stain, a more wearable long-lasting stain, but it allows you to just build up the color and it's a lot easier to keep it in your lip shape when you do it this way, I find at least. Alright guys, and this is the finished makeup look. So this is the finished makeup, everyone. This is my full face of Laura Mercier. A few of my thoughts, a few of my feelings about the brand and some of their products in general. We tried a lot of new products today, and honestly, my skin looks pretty freaking amazing. I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts on some of the products I used today. Do you have any favorites here? What are your thoughts on the direction of Laura Mercier as a brand? And what do you think about the fact that they're one of the few brands who has kept their core products alive and not dabbled too much into the hype of social media and whatnot? I'm kind of like, I'm feeling bad for letting them slip off the radar, but they've just had a lot of products that I have used and loved over the years, a lot of favorites, and it was definitely really fun to see some products in here that can absolutely be added into my everyday lineup. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Let me know your feelings in the comments below, you guys. Let me know what you think about the look. And if there are any other brands that you want me to have a full review and chat on, please also do let me know in the comments below. How many times do you think I say that in every single video I film? Like, it's a lot. And I hope you're all having a beautiful day. Happy weekend to you all. Happy Easter for those who celebrate it this weekend. And I'll see you all on Monday for a new video, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye!